What is up, Tampa Bay Buccaneers fans? It's your old friend IndyCar Tim here with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers Daily Blitz. Welcome into FanStream Sports. Welcome into the Blitz. The season is over. The Bucs are now ready to build towards 2025. They are at the NFL Combine this week. We've got free agency just a couple of weeks away. And then in April, we will have the NFL Draft. Of course, we will be all over all of that for you here on FanStream Sports and here on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers Daily Blitz. Just some quick housekeeping items I wanted to jump on and get with you guys today. Kind of, I guess, in a breaking news matter on Thursday, the Buccaneers are reinstating Jon Gruden into the Ring of Honor. He will be back in the fold in the Ring of Honor once again. He was removed, if you remember, in 2021. Now he's back in. The Bucs announced on Thursday, they released a statement. It said, quote, Jon Gruden was initially inducted into the Buccaneers Ring of Honor based on his many accomplishments during his 7 seasons as our head coach, and he remains a significant figure in the history of our franchise. Upon further reflection, we have decided to reinstate him into the Buccaneers Ring of Honor. End quote. So, of course, you will remember that he resigned from his position as head coach of the Raiders when these emails came out that had racist, homophobic, misogynistic, all sorts of language and connotations back at that point. And then he was removed from the Ring of Honor by the Buccaneers organization. Now he is inching his way back into the league. He's with that Barstool Sports organization over there doing videos and social media stuff for them. So he, is I guess his name's, I don't want to say it's being cleared, but I think what we're seeing is it was a little bit of an overreaction the first time around, and it's simply just coming around and it's fixing itself. That's the way I see it. You might see it different. I don't want to make light of the whole email situation, but that's just from my vantage point, that's what I see. I think there was a bit of an overreaction to all of this, and now it's to the point where it's either long enough. It's been long enough now that people are forgetting, or maybe we're finding out it maybe wasn't quite as bad as what everybody thought to begin with. But either way, he is back into the Buccaneers Ring of Honor where he belongs. Of course, he led the Bucs from 2002 to 2008, winning Super Bowl 37 in his first year with the club. He finished up his 7 years with the Bucs, 57-55 in the regular season, 3-2 in the postseason. Moving on, it came out on Wednesday that the Bucs will not pick up safety Jordan Whitehead's 2025 option, which means he will be a free agent next month, along with 24 other free agents for the Bucs. That's going to be a different episode probably later this week or over the weekend. Mike Garofalo of NFL Media said the Bucs have informed Whitehead on Wednesday they will not pick up his option for the second year of his deal for 2025. If he was on the roster on March 17th, he would have had to be paid a $750,000 roster bonus by the team. He was also in line for a $3.75 million salary for next season, but of course it wasn't guaranteed, so the Bucs can now clear up $4.5 million of cap space, which they will need to do. They're going to need all the money they can get there this offseason. Of course, if you remember, Whitehead was placed on the non-football injury back early in January after being hurt in a car accident in which he was running late to a practice, and he was speeding there up Del Mabry in an attempt to get to the facility on time, and was involved in a pretty serious car accident. He's underwent or suffered some pretty serious injuries. He didn't play the Bucs postseason game, and who knows when he'll be healthy again. Had a neck injury, and that can be just debilitating for someone in his position. At the Tuesday press conference of this week, Jason Light, the general manager of the Bucs, commented on, he was asked about Whitehead, and the Bucs' main concern, as Jason Light pointed out, was that They wanted to make sure he was going to be healthy when he was asked about Whitehead's chances of being on the roster in 2025. So, take that for whatever it's worth. Either the Bucs know he's not going to be healthy, or at some point they feel that they can move on. Or another likely scenario is they would like to have Whitehead back, just not at the $3.75 million salary that he was due. It's entirely plus that $750,000 bonus. It's entirely possible he comes back later in the offseason as a free agent, and they re-sign him, but at a greatly reduced salary. That's something else that's also possible. And then I don't do this often. Moving on, I've been notably critical of Todd Bowles and his coaching displays over the past couple of years, especially if you're a fan of the J.P. Peterson show. You hear J.P. and I being very critical of Todd Bowles and his ability or inability, however you want to use that word, to run the defense and run the entire team from the sideline. Lots of question marks about that. Lots of question marks about his defense. I do want to give Todd Bowles props for one thing, though, especially as a defensive coach. So there's a lot of talk now about the league banning the so-called tush push that the Philadelphia Eagles have made, famous for them because they can do it, and it seems like no other team can. But there's talk going around about the league banning that as a legal play, where it used to be that a runner could not get help from a teammate. You weren't allowed to push him from behind. You weren't allowed to pull him from in front. You weren't allowed to assist the runner. Now that went out the window. You're still not allowed to pull a runner, but for some reason they're allowing you to push a runner now. And I just think personally that's a huge safety issue. And look at the number of guys on other teams that have been injured in tush push scenarios that weren't on the Eagles. You get guys hurt all the time. But to Todd Bowles' credit, and he is on the competition committee for the NFL, so he was one of the voices, one of the guys that would review this. He's not for a ban of the tush push. And I think that's a tremendous thing for him to say as a defensive coach and having to defend it. His quote, he explained this on Pro Football Talk Live with Mike Florio. He said, quote, "The safety of it is always going to be a question because it's a rugby style play, but I have nothing against it. You found guys that are being creative and found the niche and how to gain an edge in this league, and that's what we as coaches try to do on a daily basis. Now it's up to defensive coaches to try to gain an edge and try to stop it. That's the challenge of it. Every time someone brings something new, whether it's offense or defense, I'm all for it that way," end quote. So again, I don't do this often. Kudos to Todd Bowles for kind of being in the minority right now, especially as a defensive coach and having to come up with a defense for it, as no one has been able to do so yet, for saying not to ban the tush push. And there's no doubt if it comes to a vote on the competition committee, he will use that voice in that same manner. So just a few things I wanted to get out here. We haven't done one of these shows in a while since the season ended. It's time to get back into it as, free agency is approaching, the draft is approaching, all those good things for you. So make sure you check out the J.P. Peterson Show weekdays, 10 to noon Eastern, over on FanStream Sports. Check it out on one of our YouTube channels. We've got a couple of them out there. And also wherever you get your podcasts. It's live 10 to noon, and it's available for podcast within an hour of the show ending that same day. So make sure you subscribe as well here to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers Daily Blitz. I'm IndyCar Timm. We'll do it all again here in the next day or two, go over some possibilities for the in-house free agents for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Until next time, boys and girls, we'll see you.